One of the best decisions that I made for myself was making the decision to no longer care what people thought about me. And I struggled with this all of my 20s, by the way. I'm 35. And in my 20s, I cared way too much about what people thought about me. I was the person, before I made a life decision, like buying my first house, I had to ask everyone around me what they thought of that, if I could afford the mortgage. That's literally how I used to operate. I had to get everyone's approval first before I made a decision. And now here I am, 35 years old, and I no longer live like that. It is so freeing to be comfortable in your own skin. It is so freeing to not need the approval of other people. That is something that I wish more people could experience in their life. But unfortunately, so many people cannot get out of that loop of caring what people think. And that's sad. It is extremely sad. Now, all of that started for me when I quit my job. I quit my job during COVID, 2020, and the people closest to me, they already knew how much I hated my job. That wasn't a secret. Everyone knew it, and you could see it on me. I was miserable. I was depressed. I just had this negative energy on me, right? And so it was obvious that I hated my job. But I did not tell people that I was putting in my 2-week notice until I put it in. And then after I put it in, then I let people know, yeah, I put in my 2-week notice. And, no one agreed. Everyone thought that was stupid. Everyone around me was like, oh my God, what are you going to do? Why would you quit your job? Your benefits, right? What you going to do? Your retirement, right? And, no one approved of me leaving and starting my online business, but I did it anyways. And when you start to do things for you, when you start to live for you, when you start to make the decisions that are going to be best for you in your life, let me tell you how freeing that is. I have accomplished so much more in my life, in this time that I stopped caring what people think, than I ever did in my entire life when I did care what people think. I have become more confident in myself by not caring what people think than I've ever been when I cared what people think. I used to be an alcoholic. I used to be 340 pounds. I used to be extremely broke. I used to be very depressed. I used to have really bad anxiety. I was miserable. I used to be the negative Nancy. I used to be that envious friend. You know that friend where you tell them good news and you can tell that they're envious of you? That used to be me. I'm going to be real. That used to be me. I used to be that envious friend. I did. And that's because I was not happy with who I was. And the reason why I wasn't happy with who I was because I was so focused on living a life that I thought other people wanted me to live than living the life that I genuinely wanted to live. It's toxic and it's draining. And so many people live like that, and they don't even realize that if they just do the inner work and if they just, list out the things that they want to do for their life and they make a plan on how it's going to get done and then actually execute it so that it does get done, they don't even realize how happy they would be. They have no clue. Sometimes I think we're brainwashed, right? Now, when I was living like that, caring what people thought, social media wasn't as big as it is now, okay? I lived like that in my 20s. I would say between the ages of 18 to 28-ish, so for 10 years, that's how I lived, caring what people thought about me, right? And so social media, I don't recall it being as big as it is now. Like when I was in college, Instagram just started becoming a thing. I graduated college in 2013, so, I don't remember people, and they could have been, but I guess I wasn't. I don't remember people scrolling mindlessly on Instagram for hours upon hours upon hours, right? Facebook was a thing, but I don't remember people scrolling like that on Instagram. I don't remember Instagram really being a thing till COVID. I don't even remember TikTok really being a thing until COVID. So I would assume that's when all that scrolling started during COVID. And by that time, I was getting out of caring what people thought because that's when I quit my job and started working for myself during COVID. But I don't think people realize how distracted they have become with social media. Now, I will say YouTube was there when I was younger, but I wasn't really watching YouTube like that. If I watched YouTube, it was for hair tutorials and makeup tutorials, stuff like that, but I wasn't really consuming YouTube. But I don't think people realize how much of a distraction social media is. And I don't even think people realize, one, how much time they spend on social media, and then two, how much they could actually accomplish if they got off of the app and locked in on the life that they claim they want to live. You see other people living these extravagant lives on social, and I've made videos about this before. You see people living these extravagant lives on social media, and you want to live like a life like that too. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But the problem is you become afraid to post content or do anything because you're so worried about what people are going to think about you. You're so worried about people calling you stupid or saying you're dumb or not agreeing or, making fun of you. You got all these fears in your head as to why you won't post or whatever it is that you want to do because you worry too much about what other people think of you. And sometimes I do wonder if that's just a projection. And it could be. Sometimes the reason why we care so much about what people think about us is because we are so judgmental of other people. And so you assume that people are being judgmental towards you because you're judgmental towards them. But what if I told you that most people really don't care what you do? They may talk about you for 5 minutes. They might take a screenshot and put it in some group chat. But after about an hour, people go right back to their regular lives. They got their own stress to worry about. They got their own bills they're trying to figure out how they're going to pay. They got their own relationship problem. They got all these things in their own life that they're no longer thinking about you. And see, I didn't realize that when I was in my 20s and I was dealing with caring what people thought. I didn't realize that. In my mind, I thought I was more important to people than I really was, right? It's kind of delusional. But when you really look at it, everyone is literally living their own life. And yes, they may talk SHIT for a few minutes, but I promise you, in an hour or two, they could care less. But you are, you are literally stopping your life, your one life that you get, and you're not doing the thing that you want to do so badly because you're so worried about what you think people are going to think about you. It's crazy. When you break it down like that, you will realize how crazy it sounds. And again, I think a lot of it does stem from social media and the fact that everything has to be on social these days. If you don't post about it, it didn't really happen, right? It's just stupid. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. And, people really care what people think. But I want to encourage you to stop that. I really do. I tell y'all all the time, go to counseling. I know some people are not going to listen to none of that, right? Because they think YouTube is counseling, and it's not. Go to counseling. Work on the things that your counselor tells you to do. Like, really do it. And start living your life for you. If I didn't break free from caring what people think, I don't know if my life would be as peaceful as it is now. I really don't know. There's a big part of me that doesn't think so. I really believe that I would probably still be at that job that I hated so much. I really believe that because that particular job, they didn't fire people. They'll write you up a million times, right? They'll make your life a living nightmare. Like they'll make you miserable, but they don't fire you. It's one of those type of jobs, and those type of jobs are rare because most jobs they're gonna fire your ass, right? This job wasn't like that. They didn't fire you. They didn't fire you. So if I didn't get fired, I would probably still be there because I also couldn't find. I had looked for other jobs, but I couldn't find a job paying what I was making there with the degree that I had. So I think I would still be there. I really do. Sometimes you get so comfortable with being miserable that you end up staying in a miserable position for a decade. I'm sure you've met people, maybe you know people in your life. You could be this person where you're so miserable. You've been miserable in the relationship for 20 plus years and you're still there, miserable as hell. You've been miserable at a job for 30 years and you're still there, miserable as hell, right? Because you get comfortable with being miserable. And I really do believe that if I didn't stop caring what people thought, I would still be there. I would still be at that job, miserable as hell. Probably still fat as hell too. Still drinking to cope, just living a mundane life that I'm not happy with, being envious of others, right? Because I don't even believe that I can accomplish the same thing if I locked in. That's the mindset I used to have. Yes, I really do believe I would still be like that today. But I took that leap of faith. I quit, and I'm not telling you to quit your job. I'm not telling you to quit your job. I'm just telling you what I did. I took that leap of faith. I quit my job. I started my online business. I stopped caring what people thought about me. And my life has been so fruitful since. I am beyond blessed. I am beyond proud of myself. All because for the first time in my life, I decided to live for me. Not for what other people or what I perceived other people wanted me to do, but what I actually wanted to do. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. I can't wait to read what you have to say. Also, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And do not forget to join the Patreon. The link is down below in my description. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.